First of all, I'd like to thank everybody for the blackout and fan support. Greatly appreciated. Our players really appreciate the fans doing that. It means a lot to us. And we got to go on the road now for a couple weeks, so it'll be a little bit before we come back and be back in league play. But you know, as far as the game goes, you know, proud of the defense for a shutout. And I don't know how many 3-and-outs they had. Was it 8? 8 3-and-outs out of their 10 series on defense. So really impressed there. I loved our return game on punt return tonight. I thought Braylon Cherry did some nice things and would have had over 100 yards if it weren't for a clip. It called one of them back. Offensively we're around 450 rushing and 450 passing after 2 games. So great balance. 2 games now, and great time of possession again offensively. Third down, both sides of the ball were efficient. Matt Day's back-to-back 100-yard games, and it's great to get Jalen in the game for Jacoby there at the end. And you know, I thought Ramos and Jalen Samuels both showed up and played good games for us, catching the football. You know, only thing I would love to have seen different was maybe a few takeaways on defense, and hate that we fumbled with one of our running backs early in the game. But a lot of guys got to be involved, and it's a good win anytime you can get a shutout, especially on a team that you know, they're ranked 17th in their league, and it's a good football team. You know, they have a big receiver that made some plays in the first half, and we shut him down in the second. So I thought second half we played better than we did in the first. Questions?
Are you starting to see which guys you know are going to be basically game in, game out key guys? Well, consistent forces?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you know, you got two games of film now, so that we can, you know, when it shows up multiple weeks, you know, Braylon's had 2 good weeks in a row. Jacoby's had 2 good weeks in a row. Obviously, we expected that from him. But, you know, Jalen Samuels and Ramos and, you know, Alston, you know, had a drop, but he played hard the whole game. Our offensive line's been pretty consistent. You know, disappointed in our second team O-line at times protection-wise, but we ran the ball well behind them. You know, on defense, there's a bunch of guys that played tonight. There's a lot that got in the game. So it'll be good film to watch, and I know we'll learn a lot from it, and we'll need to for our first road trip.
Coach, it seemed like the defensive line kind of set the tone, especially Chubb and Hill. Was that how you saw it?
Yeah, you know what? I'll have to watch it. You know, I challenged those guys that we needed to have more plays in the backfield, and we did. I'm just trying to look at their stats here. But it looks like they rushed for 35 yards on the night. So obviously we won up front for that to happen. And that's what we expect. You know, we expect to make plays in the backfield with our front. And Coach Huxtable, you know, did some good adjusting. You know, they had a couple new wrinkles with their power read scheme that they were running. And they hadn't shown that in the first game. So, you know, D-line for us last year was a strength at the end of the year, and we lost those guys. So, you know, seeing Chubb step up and some of the inside guys, I thought, you know, Andreas Bryant, again, had some penetration, just like he did last week. So it'd be fun to watch the tape and see who the most productive guys are.
Coach, you are never going to get a whole lot of rah-rah leadership stuff out of Matt Days, but
yeah,
he's so steady, so even keel all the time. How does that help what you want to do on offense?
I wish a lot of guys were like him. You know, I mean, show up, work hard, take pride in your work, get better, take it personal, hear coaching, and just he's a very competitive guy, and he's intrinsically motivated. I love being around players like Matt Days, and I'm proud of him. He's had 2 great games, and it'll be it's only going to make him better now with Shad coming back, because those 2 guys, style-wise, are very different. It's going to be hard to defend them. I'm excited to get those 2 back in the game together moving forward.
Even though you led 14-0 late in the first half, seemed like that defensive play, you know, the defensive plays on the goal line seemed to give you guys
yeah, that was
extra
great.
energy.
That was big. Anytime you're in the red zone on defense and you get no points, that's huge. And I think we had 1 opportunity defensively in the red zone, and we were 1 of 1, and that's big. You know, I think that shows a lot and it was after I think, a long pass, and then a pass or a face mask penalty, and then another long pass. So they had 3 consecutive plays that can kind of get you down, and then to hold them, that's a big drive right there for them.
Last week we saw Jalen with 3 touchdowns, and then this week it was more with receiving. You know, he can do a little bit of everything. What is it that makes him such a versatile threat for your offense?
Well, he's just got a lot of skill sets, you know. He's built like a fullback. I mean, he's 230 pounds, and he can squat over 500 pounds. So he can play that position where he's blocking people with leverage, but he's got receiver hands, and it's weird just because in high school he was an H-back, and then he turned into a running back through the course of his high school career. Senior year, he played running back and wildcat quarterback. So the things we're doing with him, he actually did all this stuff in high school, you know what I mean? So just fortunate to have a guy that has that many skill sets, and Coach Canada and his staff does a nice job having some versatility in the package to use him. That it? All right, thank you.